All right, all right, all right. Hey guys, it's Phillip, and today I want to talk to you guys about 5 rules for house flipping that you should always remember. Okay, so house flipping can be challenging and exciting at the same time, right? So you may find it challenging that you're in a new industry, or you believe that you don't have enough knowledge and experience in doing your job right. But you can also find it very exciting knowing that in every deal that you close, you'll make a very good profit in the profits that you need to start your journey towards financial freedom. So to help you a little bit more, and I wanted to share some exciting industry standards and challenges and opportunities that you can check out here on this blog newsletter that we love to do for you every week. So the first thing I like to talk about is the 70% house flipping rule, right? So the 70% house flipping rule basically means that when we're buying a property to renovate, we're looking for an off-market property that's not listed with a real estate agent that needs to be renovated, okay? And the general rule of thumb is, in order for us to make a healthy profit, we need to purchase that property for 70% of the ARV, which stands for the after repaired value. Okay, so what we need to do is look at the current market conditions and see what houses in renovated status are selling for, right? So what's the after repaired market value of the house? So as a simple example, if you were looking at an area where the houses are selling for $200,000 and you want to purchase that property for 70% of $200,000, which would be $140,000, okay? If that property needs $30,000 in renovation to be worth the $200,000, then we want to purchase that house for $110,000. That's our maximum allowable offer. Again, the math is really simple. It's 70% of the after repaired value of the property minus the repairs and renovations. That's our maximum allowable offer. So a lot of times when we're negotiating with a seller who obviously is going to want more than that, we usually need to come in a little bit lower. Hopefully we can get the house a little bit lower to ensure our profits, but it always gives us room to negotiate back up to that 70% minus repairs. And a lot of people might think, hey, Phillip, is that really a win-win? Is that really a fair offer for a seller? So you also have to keep in mind, when we're making an offer on an as-is property, we're purchasing that property as is, we're paying cash, we're gonna handle all of the closing costs. There's no cost associated with the seller, no real estate commissions, no title company commissions, all of those things that we take on ourselves is why it makes it a fair offer. The other thing that you have to keep in mind is that when we're buying a house for 70%, we're going to pay all the closing costs up front, and we're going to borrow what's called hard money or private money, right? So these loans that we borrow to buy, fix, and flip a house are generally a short-term loan, 6 months on average, and the interest rates are pretty high, right? So it's pretty expensive. So when we buy a house, pay all the closing costs up front, and then we have the holding costs while we're renovating the property, the interest on the money, and doing all of the renovations, and then as the property is ready to sell or ready to refinance, if you plan on buying it to keep it, you have a whole nother set of closing costs associated with that purchase or that sale. So when you go to sell the property, for example, you're going to list the property on the market, you're going to pay real estate commissions, you're going to pay, seller concessions to help the buyer get financing. And when you tie in the cost of your financing as well as the cost of buying and then the cost of selling, when you're buying at 70% minus repairs, that really honestly is going to end up leaving you with a 10 to 15% profit, right? And a lot of these guys that are out there tooting their horn about how good they're doing flipping houses, and on the TV shows that you see where it talks about how much they paid, how much they spent, and then how much they sold it for, and gives you an estimated amount that they made, they're not taking into consideration all of the costs associated with holding and renovating and all of that. So the true profit, if you actually stick within that 70% minus repairs and you do it right and you use private money or hard money, is really honestly going to be about 10 to 15%. Okay, So definitely keep that in mind, and don't be fooled thinking that this is a get rich quick scheme and that you're going to make all this money, right? So you have to be able to buy below market value. And anything over that 70% that you purchase, you're making an emotional decision. You need to get better at negotiating a better price, knowing how much your estimated repairs are going to be, and knowing what the true after repaired value of that property is, right? So if we're confident with our numbers, we're confident with the after repaired value, we're confident with the cost of the renovation, we can walk in with confidence and make that offer to make sure we secure that property for 70% minus repairs. Now, if you're using your own cash and you don't have the cost of the financing, then maybe you can go up a little bit more, go to that 75% range, or if it's a high-end home, there's still enough skin in the game left, on a house that's say more than $350,000, maybe you can go up to that 70%. But if you're staying in that median price range, which for me here in the Houston, Texas area, it's about $250,000, right? You really, really want to stick to that 70% minus repair rule, and that'll keep you safe, okay? So another thing that you want to do when you get a property under contract, now we always purchase a property as is, and we tell the sellers, we're going to be able to close quick and pay cash and cover all of your closing costs, but we still want to get a inspection done on the property. You never know what you're going to find in an inspection that the seller doesn't even know about, right? So you also want to make sure that you get an inspection so that way you have a list of things that need to be repaired. So when you go to sell the property, most of those things on the inspection have been taken care of. And then also if there's any big surprises that the seller didn't know about and you didn't know about, then that's always another place where you can renegotiate, try to get a little bit of a discount, and have the seller work with you to help you cover those unexpected costs, right? So those are really good strategies and things that'll help keep you from making mistakes. And ask me how I know, right? I've bought plenty of houses over the years without doing an inspection, and later to find out that there's a $5,000 plumbing issue or a $7,000 air conditioner that needs to be replaced. And a lot of times these are things that the seller that's been living in the house for 15, 20 years, they don't even know exist, right? And it takes a trained professional inspector to be able to find those problems for us, saving us, a big headache and the big cost of making those repairs as well. So also the thing that you want to consider is to know your limits. A lot of people tell me all the time, Philip, man, I've been thinking about flipping houses, and I'm pretty handy with tools, and I know how to do the electrical work, and I can do some plumbing, and I can lay some tile. And they come into this idea with like, hey, if I can do the work myself, I can save some money. But our goal is not to create another job, right? If you're over there doing the work yourself, you're basically working for minimum wage again. You're doing minimum wage activities, you're trading hours for dollars, and there's only so many hours in the day, especially if you have a full-time job. I love to spend my time learning, networking, and growing, and delegating everything that I can that would be considered a minimum wage activity. And everybody's minimum wage is different, right? You have to decide for yourself, like, hey, what is the yearly income goal that I want to make? And then divide that by how many weeks in a year there are, divide that by how many hours in a week that you have available to put towards this. And you can find out real quick that you're going to be a lot stronger by building a team of people that can do the work for you and getting that work done. Our profit is made when we buy the house, right? And then anything after that is just transactions. It's just getting the work done and getting it done fast, efficient, and getting the property back on the market or refinanced out of that short-term financing. The other thing people talk about is the renovations to attract the general market, right? So anytime we're renovating a house and we're buying a house as is, I like to tell our sellers that, we're going to buy the house as is. You don't have to worry about doing any updates or upgrades or anything to the property, because we are always in tune with what the market likes, right? Lindsay is definitely our secret weapon when it comes to design and picking the right colors and the schemes and things like that. And always we want to make a neutral decision to make the house marketable to the masses and make it appealing to the people that are out there shopping for homes. So it's always a good idea to watch those, the home shows on HGTV and look at new houses and houses in the area that are available on the market to make sure that you're keeping up with the trends and what other people like and what people are buying. So The last thing I want to talk to you about is always keeping records, right? One of the most important things is that you have a budget and you try to stick with that budget, but then you also track all of your expenses, all of the renovations, everything that you spend renovating that house. And I'll be the first one to tell you that I have never one time in 20 years hit the budget, right? There's always things that get forgotten. There's things that, there's overages and there's things like that. But don't fear, because we have to calculate having we usually put a 10 to a 20% buffer, right? So that way we're not surprised when the budget doesn't come in exactly as it's supposed to or as you anticipated. And sometimes, there's delays with supplies right now with all of the shortage and inventory and stuff like that. And then sometimes it's harder to find the trades and get people in on time. So you're not going to come in on budget, but don't let that keep you from getting started. But the point is, always keep records of everything that you do, because these will create the tax write-offs and the records that you need when it comes to doing your and filing your taxes, right? So the takeaway that I want to talk about is, like I mentioned earlier, house flipping can be challenging, okay? It is exciting at the same time, so just keep an open mind to that. Don't think and listen to all these people on TV that make it sound like it's so easy and that anybody can do it. Now, I believe anybody can and anybody should. And when you get started and partner with me or partner with a coach or a mentor, they can help you avoid some of these pitfalls and some of the mistakes that we've made before. And so I always like to say, like, you join our program, you can get a mentor, you can skip the learning curve and get to where we're at and get to where you're trying to go way faster when you have a coach. When you have somebody that's got the experience, the knowledge of the marketplace, and that can help you. And let's work together, guys. I'm looking for partners. I'm looking for people to bring deals. We've got the funding ready to go. We can fund your deals. We can partner with you on your deals. We can just teach you the business, anything and everything in between. And so it's my desire to help as many people, one person at a time, one house at a time, to start their journey towards financial freedom and real estate investing. So that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and share. Tell me more about what questions that you have, or join one of my group coaching programs that we do on a weekly basis, where you can join us on Zoom weekly and we can go over case studies and do Q&A and just help you take your business to the next level and get you your first house or your next house. So thanks for watching. God bless you guys, and go out there and make it a great day. All right, bye.